Hello, everyone. Today I'm here with the boys Barack and George to review the flaming pile of garbage known as Amazon's Rings of Power. And at Barack's request, we're also joined by Joe.
Hello.
How's it going, everyone?
What's up, guys?
All right, honestly, at this point, what's there to be said about Rings of Power other than that it's an absolute disgrace to J.R.R. Tolkien's literary masterpiece?
I will admit, Donald, when I first heard that a company as big as Amazon was going to adapt such a rich franchise, I was excited and had high hopes that they'd create something great. Sadly, Rings of Power is a prime example of the problem with high-budget productions nowadays. It's sloppily written, badly paced, illogically progressed, and overall disrespectful to the source material.
I agree. Sure, there are some points I'd concede on, namely the set design and visual effects. But the writing is just so terrible that no amount of flashy costumes and graphics can cover up the mess. It's a bloated, mismanaged mess, written for fans who are nostalgic for the old Peter Jackson films, and I'm just sick of these writers treating audiences like we're a bunch of children.
Children? Where?
What the fuck?
I agree with you, George. That's perhaps the series' only saving grace, the set design and visual effects. We should talk about the elephant in the room first, of course, and that's Galadriel.
Oh, what a stupid bitch. And I'm not joking around here. Have you ever seen a dumber main character in any major film franchise? Seriously, this bitch has no redeeming qualities whatsoever and is so incredibly toxic that she turned me into a misogynist.
Let's not kid ourselves, Donald. You don't have the best track record with women.
Am I lying? Isn't Galadriel a completely stupid, insufferable hag?
He's got a point, Barack. I mean, at no point in any of the episodes was I ever convinced to care about her. She's brash, irrational, and just a ticking time bomb that needs to be put in her place.
What do you mean, put in her place?
She needs to be sent to the kitchen where she belongs.
A character written as badly as Galadriel is bound to turn off viewers before they can even get a chance to notice whatever redeeming qualities that may see her through the series. But she has none whatsoever. Her internal conflicts are rushed over and inadequately described for the sake of plot progression.
I agree, and I say this as someone who personally enjoys seeing strong female protagonists.
I like small female protagonists.
Joe, what the fuck? Barack, what the fuck is wrong with your guy?
He may just be a little tired. When it comes to Galadriel, I just know the writers wanted to reinvent this iconic character and make her more relatable than as the goddess we see her as in the Peter Jackson films. But their efforts fell flat.
Not to mention what they did with Bronwyn. Oh, you have a town full of piss-poor villagers and a fucking woman with mommy milkers is the only one to step up and take charge? What are these villagers, a bunch of lemmings? Are they that fucking stupid not to question her leadership?
I feel like they could have done something interesting with Theo and his relationship with his mother, considering he grew up without a father. And adding Arondir to the mix could have made for an interesting family dynamic.
Of course, Barack, you'd identify with the character who grew up without a dad.
Shut the fuck up, Donald.
They're banking on the fact that the average human attention span is shorter than that of a goldfish. Sometimes you can use that to your advantage, but this was not one of those cases. I mean, for fuck's sake. He's an elf that's supposedly hundreds of years old, and he falls for a human woman who's probably not even 40. That has to be some pedophilic shit in Middle-earth.
Nothing can get in the way of true love, Donald. And age is just a factor that shouldn't be considered. If two people love each other very much, then let them be.
You might want to reword that a bit, Joe.
Joe, are you telling me that if you were an elf with friggin' immortality, you'd go around trying to tie the knot with a woman who's gonna age like milk, left out on a hot summer's day?
Obviously, there'd be a cutoff point once the wrinkles, stretch marks, and puberty start coming in.
Okay, gross. Barack, why the fuck did you bring this old bozo along?
Just let him be, Donald. He doesn't have many friends.
Bro, he's gonna totally kill my Riz. How the fuck am I supposed to pull baddies with this pedo at my side?
You're worried I'll cramp your game, Jack? Well, I'll have you know that I've pulled plenty of girls back in my day. Why? You're talking to a guy who's gotten a kiss from Cleopatra herself.
What the fuck are you talking about?
Maybe we should just continue with this review.
All right, guys. What do you think about the broship between Elrond and Durin? If anything, that was the most wholesome part of the entire series and served as decent comic relief.
Yeah. The dynamic between Elrond and Durin was unmistakably there, and I think that particular storyline was written and paced decently. The two treat each other like brothers, almost like a chosen family. Seeing Elrond lost his brother Elros, and Durin's apparently not on good terms with his.
I will admit the rock smashing scene gave me a small chuckle.
And I also appreciated the dynamic between Durin and Disa.
Oh, come on, a black dwarf with a Scottish accent? Even in a fantasy world, that's a little hard to believe.
Donald, this is a world where fucking ancient dragons talk to hobbits and entire peoples are cursed to roam the mortal realm as ghosts. And you find a black female dwarf hard to accept?
Where were all the black dwarves in the Peter Jackson films? Even in the Hobbit trilogy, when Dane came to Erebor to rescue Thorin, I didn't see a single black or even mixed-race dwarf among the thousands of CGI dwarves that were in that movie. For fuck's sake, there's only been one black person in the entirety of the original trilogy, and even he was excluded from the final cut. Are you telling me the line of Durin are a bunch of mulattoes? Is that why you're fine with that, you vanilla chocolate swirl?
First off, fuck you. Secondly, I think that relationship between Disa and Durin and Elrond was handled nicely. It's probably one of the most relatable dynamics in the whole series. You know, sometimes a woman has to take charge when two guy friends are fighting and try to settle the beef.
That depends on the type of woman your wife is. My Melania is a sweet, radiant angel and doesn't concern herself with my affairs since I'm an alpha. I settle my affairs on my own, though I could see you needing help from a person like Michelle. What about you, George?
Laura's probably going to watch this video, so it's best I don't say anything. And make sure what I just said doesn't make it into the final cut, editor.
Oh, sure, I'll take it out.
What did you think about the hobbits?
What did I think about the hobbits? Are there no borders in Middle-earth? Are there no immigration laws, visas, and passports needed in any of those civilizations? I mean, for Christ's sake, the hobbits' journey makes the Mexicans look like they're strolling right into the U.S., which they are, thanks to your pal Joe.
Parents bring their kids to our country to give them a better life. Who would we be as a people to deny children access to education, opportunities, and playdates?
Joe, shut the fuck up, I swear to God.
I will admit, the hobbits aren't portrayed too favorably. I mean, they leave behind their own if they fall behind. I have to say that is kind of evil and makes it hard to root for them.
I don't even want to talk about the hobbits. I knew from the moment we saw that hobo fall out of the sky that he's fucking Gandalf. And what about Halbrand? A mysterious man who's the chosen one turned out to be fucking Sauron? What a totally lazy and uninspired twist. They must have taken notes from The Last Jedi, and you can tell the writers tried their damned hardest to try to misdirect us from that fact, but they failed tremendously.
What about the Numenor arc? Before you say anything, yes, I concede that Elendil, Isildur, and Miriel are all incredibly stupid characters and don't mesh well together. And I will also concede that that rant about elves taking Numenorian jobs was extremely cringe.
Yeah, I shut that shit off when I heard it. Way to jawbone current real-world politics into a fucking fantasy world.
I'm glad I'm not the only one who thinks that. Thanks for being honest, guys. It really takes some balls. It's just so cringe what they did with that rant. I just know those blue-haired SJW writers were thinking about me when they came up with that scene. Call me the master squatter, because I be living in these bitches' heads rent-free.
Yeah, and Galadriel just made an ass of herself the whole time she was in Numenor. If she's so convinced there's a rising orc threat, why would she act like a retarded monkey in front of the queen and her court? It just made her more unlikable than she already was. And at that point, I was watching just hoping she'd die.
I see your point, but isn't that behavior familiar?
What do you mean?
I mean, just look at how Donald acted all throughout his presidency.
Shut the fuck up, you fatherless imbecile. I know you spied on me during my campaign. I know the Russia conspiracy was a hoax, and I know Joe stole the election from me.
Donald, the election wasn't stolen from you. Joe just got 7 million more votes than you.
I swear to God, I'm going to bring the storm with me in 2024. Just watch.
A storm? Sort of like a tempest within you?
What shit, fuck?
That's okay, Donald. You have something in common with Galadriel there's nothing to be ashamed about.
Dumb bitch with plot armor, disregarding the lives of her soldiers, jumping off a boat in the middle of a fucking ocean. She took the full force of an erupting volcano, for fuck's sake, and she just got up and walked around like nothing happened? She didn't even try to find cover. How the fuck is she alive? Oh yeah, plot armor.
Yeah, that was the dumbest fucking shit I've ever seen. Even dumber than anything Star Wars has done with Rey.
Yeah, total bullshit. And speaking of the eruption, all it took to make Mount Doom was to pour some water into a dormant volcano. Did we really need an entire season's worth of backstory on how Mordor was created?
It was cheap, lazy, and uninspired. A hack show written by complete losers.
Anything else you want to cover?
No, I'm good. Personally, I'm getting a headache just talking about that shit show. Anything else you want to add, George?
Not really, no.
Joe, what about you?
What are we talking about?
Jesus Christ. Okay, all in all, Rings of Power is a terribly written and terribly produced show. The acting was decent, but no amount of acting can make up for shitty writing and planning. None of the characters are likable, and the entire season was just a stupid fucking tease for the next one. I give Rings of Power a 0 out of 10.
Agreed.
Hold on now, I think a 0 is too harsh of a score. I think the relationship between Durin and Elrond bumps up the series to at least a 2.
Oh, wow, a 2? You're basically saying it's a stinking pile of shit that perhaps maybe you'd consider eating.
Fuck off with that shit, Donald. All I'm saying is that some of the set pieces were really good. And I also think the Numenor backstory, as bad as it was cool being featured in live action. You know what? It might even be a 3 or a 4. What do you think, Joe?
You remember that scene where a prepubescent Galadriel and her brother were running through a meadow on a warm, sunny day? She was wearing nothing more than a sheer dress. It reminded me of a summer back in Gettysburg, before the infamous battle, of course, when little Sarah Buckley and I would run around and steal apples from old Mr. Goranson's orchard. Whenever Mr. Goranson found out someone was stealing his apples, Sarah and I would blame a black fella named Corn Pop, and we'd sit together on a hilltop and watch him get whipped as the sun set.
Jesus Christ, Joe, you incoherent, dementia-riddled artifact. Just how ancient are you?
When I was a kid, giants roamed the earth, and a great flood washed them all away.
I think we can all agree that Rings of Power comes nowhere close to the Peter Jackson trilogy.
Of fucking course.
Yeah, that's not even up for debate. How about we have ourselves a trilogy marathon to get the bad taste of Rings of Power out our mouths?
As much as I love the trilogy, I've seen the movies probably 100 times.
Same. And I watched the extended editions too. Hey, instead of watching the movies, why don't we participate in them?
What do you mean?
We could ask Elon to give us a go at his Neuralink devices. I hear they've made a lot of progress.
Yeah, but I don't think they'll be able to put us in the movies. You're talking about a holosuite, right? Like from Star Trek?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't do that with Neuralink.
You don't know?
Don't I know what? Do you know what the fuck he's talking about, George?
Not a clue.
Elon's been using Neuralink to live out every single one of his fantasies. Iron Man, Hot Tub Time Machine, Ocean's 11, Human Centipede. He's experienced every single one of these films in person.
This is the first I'm hearing of it.
The fuck? You are the president of the United fucking States, Barack.
I'm not butt buddies with Elon, Donald. I have actual shit to do.
Like what, getting pegged by Michelle?
Lay off the Michelle jokes, Donald. Not cool.
Hey, Barack, what the fuck did Michelle do to Joan Rivers?
I swear to God, Donald.
I'm just fucking around, Barack. Calm your tits. We should pay Elon a visit and ask to use his Neuralink devices.
And you're sure he has a program for the Lord of the Rings?
He has the fucking Human Centipede, Barack. Of course he has Lord of the Rings.
That sounds sick to me. Let's go do this, boys.
I suppose it wouldn't hurt to see what's up. You coming with us, Joe?
What?